What's up, y'all? So today I'm doing a video on CutCo and basically the pros and the cons. And I'm going to go through the pros first and then the cons. I'm not here to pick sides. This is more of an informative thing. If somebody has messaged you offering you a job to work for CutCo, you know what it's all about, or what its true colors are, I'm here to let you know. Just let you know ahead of time, the pros do outweigh the cons. Maybe it was just me, but I had a great experience with CutCo, with it being a job and just the experience in general. And so I'm going to go over the pros and then the cons. So real quick, number one is the people. The people in my branch were like all around my age. And so they were super cool to like, I was able to relate to them pretty easily. And even my manager, my boss, was my age. And so that was pretty cool because it's like, I guess the dynamic, people-wise, is just a lot different when you're working for somebody and with other people that are your age, but they're also all doing the exact same thing. You know, if you work, like I used to work at McAllister's Deli, and my job was I was the dish guy. I washed dishes, and then there was people who did spuds, salads, sandwiches, and then we had managers, and then we had like waiters or front people, front desk people. I forget what they were called. So like everybody had a different position. When you're with your branch, basically you have salesman, assistant manager, and manager. But the assistant managers and the manager are also selling, and they're also in sales. They just have some like leader, they're higher up on the totem pole, and I'm sure they get paid more because that's their position. But it's still like they're still selling, they're still in sales, and so they're still doing what you're doing. So number two is you develop time management skills, and so once you get the ball rolling, once you and your branch get the ball rolling, your manager is going to want you to come to the office Monday through Friday, or it's either Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. And you're probably going to get there not like super early in the morning, but probably earlier than you want to, especially if you're doing this over the summer. And at first you're gonna be like, oh, like this sucks. And once you get used to it, there's still gonna be mornings where you wake up and be like, man, this sucks. But I guarantee you, it's gonna be really great. Plus, you're not going there to screw around. You're going there to work, you know. And you may not be doing your demos there, but you'll be making your schedule. Plus, you're not like when I was doing it, we would show up, but we wouldn't just like instantly get to work. We would have like some like chat time, and then we'd go to work and take breaks and so on and so on. There was never like a dull moment, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. Next one is flexible schedule. Those a lot of people when they're advertising CutCo, they'll say you can be your own boss, and that's technically not true, but you do have a very big control over your own schedule. And so like for me, like I'm a college athlete, and so I have to work out. I have to do a workout every day, and so when I was doing this, I was like, I have to do this. I have to do these sell pitches, or they don't call them sell pitches; they call them demos. I have to do these demos every day and do as many as I can. But I also need to get my workout in, you know, along with your other priorities. You know, if there's something else in your life that you have to do every day, didn't make time for it. But I was able to make it pretty flexible. Not only that, but for me, whenever I would schedule a demo or sales pitch, I was big about doing it in person. Like, I really did not like doing them virtually. There's nothing wrong with doing them virtually, but I preferred the in-person sales pitch because I just feel like it's better, you know. Plus, especially if you're doing it with an older person, not everybody, especially older people, they don't know how to work Zoom. And so I just like doing it in person better. And it cost me a lot of gas, but this was last year when gas wasn't like stupid expensive. But it was well worth it. It was well worth it. So if you can, I highly recommend doing your demos in person. But yeah, the point of that was flexible schedules, you know. Next thing is good pay. And so when I did it, it was like $18 a demo, but now I think it's like 21. Now that I'm making it here in 2022, making this video in 2022. I'm not going to explain how the pay works, but that's like the base pay, which basically means if you do like 15 demos a week and you don't make a single sale, you're still going to get paid like when I was doing it, was like $18 a demo. So if I did like 30 demos in a week and I didn't make a single sale, I will still get paid $18 per that demo. And it's weekly pay too. And weekly pay, when I was working with CutCo, I loved getting paid weekly. And now I have two jobs right now that aren't CutCo, but they both get paid bi-weekly. And because I have two jobs, I'm getting a paycheck every week, but it still stinks because I'm like, okay, I'm having to wait, 2 weeks to get a paycheck. Getting paid weekly is like, once I've started not getting paid weekly, it makes me really appreciate getting paid weekly. But it's really good pay, especially, if you do make a sale, because $18 to $21 an hour, even if you don't make a sale, is nice. But once you're making sales, you get that ball rolling, you're gonna be like, this is so much better than $18 or $21 an hour. The next thing is the ability to advance and pay in position. So basically, and maybe they do it different now, because I did CutCo in the summer of 2021. It's now spring of 2022. But you start out, when you make a sale, you get 10% of your CPO. And your CPO is like, let's say you make a sale, and your the total of that sale is like $500. Well, your CPO is going to be like slightly less, like just barely less than the sale that you made. Okay, so you'll get 10% of that CPO, which is a number that's just a little less than 500. And at first you're like, well, 10% is not a lot. Well, one, if you make a huge sale, then it kind of is a lot of money. But not only that, but here's the thing, you can advance. And so I started out at 10%, like everybody else, but then before I ended with CutCo, I worked up to like 25%. And I think the maximum you can go to is like 50, but like, I'm not gonna put out like specific digits right now, but my last two paychecks that I got from CutCo were almost $1,000, and I got paid weekly in sales. And so I was able, so like if you're talking about working with CutCo and you're like, oh, well, I have this job at like Whataburger or something like that, your boss is going to be like, I'm guarantee you're going to make more money here. And they are 100% right. But it's sales. And so you reap what you sow. So if you go into a sale and you're like, oh, like you're very monotone, you can just like hear the tiredness in your voice, and you're not excited, you're not, you don't even have to, you can hate knives, but if you can pretend or act like you love knives to death, then trust me, you can. I've made a demo with a lady one time who I went to church with, and she's like, well, I'll do a demo with you, but I probably can't buy anything. And she brought like the second biggest set that we had after the demo. And so whenever you're on the phone with somebody, you're scheduling a demo, go into like, you're gonna sell them I forget what the ultimate, I think that's what it's called, is the biggest set. But yeah, you can, if you're good at it, not necessarily if you're good at it, but if you're good enough at it, I guess, you can go into a demo with somebody who has already made up their mind that they're not going to buy anything, or they're not going to buy a set. And then all of a sudden, when you're done with your presentation, they need a set, So speaking of sets, CutCo is a good product. Whenever you have your script and you're reviewing everything, and I'm not going to get into it because that's for your manager to train you for, CutCo is good stuff. The Forever Guarantee, it's not a scam. It's literally forever guaranteed. For some reason, like whenever I pull out I think I have my super shears in here. Whenever you get your super shears in your demo set, and the video shows them cutting a penny in half, I'm trying to get them out. These can literally cut a penny in half. And I don't know if it's an adult thing, but whenever you cut that penny in half, people are like he did not just cut a penny in half. And I guess just working with CutCo, and I've cut like 1 million pennies in half just in that one summer I worked for them, it gets really old. But a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like these are the real deal. And so once you get into the details of like how the knives and the super shears and everything's made, the forever guarantee, the payment plans, once you get all that stuff, that's like icing on the cake. But at the end of the day, even if you don't like the way CutCo does business, they have a dang good product. Oh, here's another thing. So it is sales, but however, you don't have to be a people person. and what I mean by that is that, like, if you're not a people person, maybe don't do your demos in person. Maybe you should just do them all through Zoom. But if you want to make money, if you can, you should at least pretend like you are a people person, you know. Plus, if I am if I'm the customer who's being shown the CutCo presentation, and the salesman or saleswoman is just boring, monotone, unpassionate, acts like he or she doesn't want to be there, I'm probably not going to buy the product, you know, because, like, if this person doesn't care about it, why should I care about it? You know, why should I care enough about this product that they're trying to sell me if they don't care about it? You know, it doesn't make any sense. And so, not only that, I just thought of another pro off the top of my head that I didn't think about. So with CutCo, you can actually save your receipts whenever you do something with CutCo, or if you buy like fruit for demos or gas, or if you and your branch go out to eat, you can save those receipts and you can write them off on your taxes. And it saved me, it helped me out a bunch when I was doing my taxes this year. And then not only that, but so here are the two cons I have. In my opinion, I had a really good experience with CutCo, so I only had two cons, and one of them is like kind of a con. The first con is the conventions. So whenever you do CutCo, they'll have different conventions. So like the one I went to was in Austin, and I'll be honest, I did not want to go to it just because, like, I love my branch and I love CutCo, but I was just like, I do not want to drive to Austin. I live in Texas. I've been to Austin, but I'm like, that drive is a pain in the butt. I don't want to be at a huge convention with a bunch of random people I don't know, you know, and just be with my branch the whole time. I love my branch, but I was like, I don't want to be in Austin for 2 days, you know. I just didn't want to do it, you know. Some people do, some people don't, and I really just didn't want to. And I had fun on the one I did go to, but it was just something. I guess I really have this here on the cons list because I had to find a con, and so I really wasn't gonna say anything about it. But I guess if I had to pick a con, that would be one. And then the second con is gas, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. That's the phrase I was looking for. It's a double-edged sword. So, like, yes, for me, gas was more impactful on my finances, just because, like I said, I did a bunch of in-person demos, in-person demos, also driving to and from the office. But like I said, you can write them off on your taxes. Plus, if you're doing your demos in person and you and your manager and your fellow salespeople can see that you are doing really good, then you're like, okay, well, maybe doing your demos in person maybe you're doing something right, you know. Plus, if I was a customer, I would feel like, and I knew someone was driving out to my house or my apartment to do this demo, I wouldn't feel like special, or like like I'm the chosen one, you know, or something like that. But it would show me that this salesperson is taking time and their money to come all the way out here, or at least meet me somewhere to do this demo. So, yes, like I said, I know I listed exponentially way more pros than cons, but that's just me being honest. One last thing. A lot of people say it's a pyramid scheme. Here's the thing. I kind of know what a pyramid scheme is, but I also don't, and so I'm not going to get on here and act like I do. But I will say this, even if it is a pyramid scheme, you're making money. Like, before I stopped doing CutCo, I was making like a lot of money. And so even if it is a pyramid scheme, you're making a lot of money. And whenever people do discuss pyramid schemes, they're like, well, the person above you makes more money. But that's how a lot of jobs work, you know. And so plus the people who are managers there in your branch, or just in general, they're people who have been there like a long time or long enough and have shown like hard work in their sales and stuff. And so if somebody tries to talk down a CutCo like it's a pyramid scheme, it may be, it may not, but regardless, you can make a lot of money. So yeah, that's just my spill on the pros and cons of CutCo. So yeah, God bless.